All right, I think it might help for us to start standing if we're feeling a little bit on vacation mode this Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. So let's start in a standing forward fold of your choice. Have the feet wider than hips width. You can even go very wide. Make sure that your feet are parallel and that your knees are bent a lot to start. And then hinge forward from your hips, allowing the spine and head to fall. You can let the arms fall and just sort of hang and let loose, maybe shake softly. You could interlace the fingers behind your back and open up the chest more actively. Just whatever you're feeling that you need right now, getting the blood flowing in reverse towards the brain, helping to wake it up and get a little more energized. Observe the way that your body feels as well as how it's breathing. And then allow a deeper inhale to fill up your lungs, even the backs of your ribs. Opening the mouth as you exhale. Inhaling a little bit deeper and maybe a little louder. Open the mouth, exhale. This time, let's flutter the lips. Take a deep breath in and let the lips go. Letting the neck soften as your shoulders rise away from it, letting your head fall really heavily as your weight shifts forward, more onto your toes. Now, whether you want to press your hands up your legs, just make sure you don't press into your knees to help roll up, or just let the arms hang loose. Bend your knees a lot, tuck your chin to your chest, and as you draw the belly in, inhale to slowly roll the spine upright, lifting one vertebra at a time, the head last. Take a few shoulder rolls as you get up there. Exhale as you roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, floating them forward and up. And long exhale through the mouth. Couple more. Gently turning the head in any direction just to feel out your neck. If it feels good, take a slow roll around, circling the head once in one direction, and then perhaps once in the opposite direction. Then as you're ready, find a comfortable seat. So I've been taking excerpts from a book about the law of attraction by Abraham-Hicks. It's actually called The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent. As we moved along, many classes talking about samskaras, our ingrained habits of our belief system, our conditioning more on the unconscious level that affect our daily lives. So in our hopes of building self-awareness and intentional living, we've directed focus on transforming samskaras, ones that may no longer be useful, into more positive ones. And now we're getting more intentional with how we're transforming them using the law of attraction. So here is another technique for manifesting your desires according to this book by Abraham-Hicks. It's called Finding the Feeling Place process. There are many great processes in this book. And this process is about using your imagination. Actually, I like to call it fantasizing or daydreaming. And there really is so much value in that. It's interesting how the body doesn't really know the difference between what you're thinking is happening right now, or if you're reminiscing about something that happened in the past, whether it's negative or positive, your body begins to react as though it's happening right now. Right? Like if you recall a traumatic event or you recall a really glorious, wonderful event, the heart, the breath, the feelings in the body change. So this is much about that. Here's what it says. Finding the feeling place process is using your imagination to pretend that your desire has already come about and that you're now actually living the details of that desire. As you focus upon what it feels like to be living your desire, you cannot at the same time be feeling the absence of your desire. So with practice, you can tip the scales, so to speak, so that even though your desire has not yet actually manifested, you are offering a vibration as if it has. And then, according to the law of attraction, it must. So it's really back to that, how do we align ourselves vibrationally and through our emotions and thoughts with what we really choose to feel? Are we dwelling on the past and something that feels not good to us, and thus repeating that and amplifying that vibration through our emotions and thoughts? Or are we directing our focus towards what we do want to feel and what we do want to create just by our focusing? And so the result is when you pretend or selectively remember, so you could even use a memory to conjure up the feeling of what you would like to happen. So even if it's something from the past, you can use something that felt great that you also want to feel moving forward. So when you pretend or selectively remember, you activate new vibrations and your point of attraction shifts. And as this happens, your life will improve regarding every subject for which you have found a new feeling place. Our ability to not only watch your mind, but to tame it in the direction and use it as a powerful tool to manifest physically, energetically, and even our environment. I believe it's so much connected to being happy despite the conditions, choosing our state of being. So as we sit here now, perhaps with eyes closed, grounding, uplifting, feeling the breath more consciously flow. What do you desire to fear? To feel, excuse me, not fear. What do you desire to feel in your body, in your mind? Maybe something even more specific that you have written down and want to be part of your future. Breathe in as if. Breathe out, savoring that feeling. Perhaps you're conjuring an image. Really using your imagination as we sort of have a holiday practice today. Be in a holiday, savor those feelings you are conjuring. Bring it into the physical practice, into how you breathe. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Feel the lift through the sides of your waist to your neck, joining the palms. Then exhale, trace your thumbs down your center line to your heart. Let's try 2 more of those. Inhaling, sweeping the arms overhead. Feel the space around you as you extend through it. Exhale, trace your midline down to your heart. One last time. Inhale, sweep the arms. Feel the fullness of your breath, taking it all in, and then exhale back to heart center. Softly blink your eyes open. And let's make our way down to child's pose. Setting the feet together behind you and the knees together or apart. Allowing your pelvis to draw all the way down towards your feet as you extend your arms actively forward. So as you make it more of an active child's pose by reaching through your fingertips towards the front of your mat, while drawing your shoulders and hips towards the rear of your mat, feel space throughout your spine as though you could cultivate space through the breath. Visualizing the inhale entering through the base of the spine and filling up between each vertebra, up to your neck, even up to the crown of your head. And exhaling down each vertebra, back to the tailbone. In your mind's eye, following the breath up the spine, feeling release, spaciousness, and peaceful energy. Exhaling down the spine. Continue to feel that as you walk your hands over to the right, reaching outside of your mat. It might even feel good to reach the left fingertips further forward here and focus a little more breath into the left side of your lower back. Perhaps you feel some kind of tension there and you breathe into it and feel space and release there. Breathe out. Feel any holding there might be dissipate. One more breath here. Then walking your hands through center, reach over to the left outside of your mat. Might feel good to reach the right fingertips further forward. And now maybe visualize breathing into the right side of your lower back. Feeling spaciousness and length in the right lower back. And as you breathe out, unraveling any tension there might be that doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Breathing in, breathing out. Now walk your hands through center and begin to slide forward all the way down to your stomach. We're going to lie down with legs straight back and set the right ear to the ground, giving the inner shoulder a stretch by straightening the right arm out to the right, so palm is face down, aligned with the shoulder, and leaning the right ear on the floor or on a block. Press the left hand on the ground beside your left ribs to gently roll over slowly onto your right side. As you take your time, leaning back, feeling just the amount of intensity that is a good balance. Opening up the body and not feeling stagnancy. Let the right shoulder head draw away from your neck, creating space in the neck. And if it feels good too, you can step the left foot behind you off the mat. Maybe wrap the left arm behind you. Perhaps the hands touch. No right or wrong, just use your sensations to guide you. Feel into the breath in. Where might you be directing that space? Feel the release of the breath out. And with it, perhaps what might you be releasing energetically? And at this exhalation, start to roll onto your stomach, taking your time to switch sides. Leading the left ear onto the mat or on top of a block. Sliding the left arm straight out to the left, palm face down, and then using the right hand to press the ground away as you gently roll onto your left side. Notice if it feels different. Take your time. There's no expectation of how deep you need to go, just feeling into each breath, each sensation. Having the conversation patiently, lovingly with your own body. Soften the left shoulder blade down your back ribs. Feel the space in the left side of your neck. You might explore stepping the right foot behind you, wrapping the right arm behind. Let's take 2 last breaths on this side. At the end of this exhalation, slowly roll onto your stomach into Sphinx pose, where you could slide the elbows forward, lifting your chest, and see that your elbows land just in front of your shoulders so that your forearms are parallel in front of you on the ground. Then have your knees no wider apart than your hips width, pointing your toes to actively lengthen your legs behind you. Pressing every toenail into the ground, including the pinky toes, from down to your feet, from down to your pelvis, and draw your heart space forward for just a couple more breaths. Notice as you're tilting your gaze slightly down towards your thumbs, you're lengthening the back of your neck while softening the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Feel that it's just under your shoulder blades. We are directing the arch in this back bend. Continue to focus on that area as you slide your hands back beside your lowest ribs for Cobra pose. Bending the elbows close to your sides, grounding your feet and pelvis, and again contracting right under the shoulder blades. Looking on the floor ahead, lengthening the back of your neck. Let's take 2 more breaths. Feel your collarbones smile wide apart, lifting your heart center. And with an exhalation, press up to all fours, hands and knees. Spinning the fingertips to turn out to any degree that feels good to stretch your inner wrists, your inner forearms. Let's take a few cat-cows. As you breathe in, stretch your lower spine from your pelvis, then right under the shoulder blades arch to lift the chest up. Cow pose. As you breathe out, firm the belly towards the back so you dome the spine, tucking the tailbone under and dropping your skull. Cat pose. And then on your own, take about 4 more cycles of breath, easily stretching the front and the back of your spine. Feeling your pelvis tilt forward and back. Remembering that this is your practice, and I'm more like a tour guide here, showing you what I think are highlights. But if you feel in your own body you need to slow down, you need to add a different spice or flavor, take rest, invigorate, tailor your physical practice as you listen to your body. And when you're ready, spinning the index fingers to face forward so they're parallel to each other, spreading the fingers flat and wide. Tuck your toes behind you and lift your hips as high as you can towards the back wall, downward facing dog. Now you might like to move around a bit before we hold still for a few breaths. Perhaps pedaling your feet in place to gently stretch the backs of your legs. Maybe shaking and nodding the head softly, letting the head go so the neck is relaxed. Feel how you're grounding through your hands, as if you're pushing the mat away from your feet so that you can feel your shoulders rise back and away from your neck. Then spread the shoulder blades wide across your back ribs by rotating the outer sides of your upper arms or triceps towards the mat. Feel your front ribs seal in towards the back of your body so the belly firms as you lift your sitting bones as high as possible, maybe with bent knees, and firm the fronts of your thigh bones back, shifting more weight towards the rear of your mat, whether or not the heels land. Now let's hold still. A couple more breaths. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now begin to walk your feet halfway towards your hands, just halfway forward. And then step your feet apart as wide as the edges of your mat. Take your right hand and cross it to the outside of your left calf or ankle and firm your right heel into the ground as you begin to twist to your left side, turning the chest. Imagine you're trying to see the sky from under your left armpit, but then relax your neck and jaw. Draw the right hip behind you. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose. This time a big sigh through the mouth. Let it feel good. Ha. Release the right hand down. And let's switch. The left hand to catch the outer right calf or ankle. Root the left heel further into the ground. Then look under the right armpit towards the sky. Let the head go. Relax the face. Smile and feel what you're envisioning. Juicy sigh, open the mouth. And then from here, look towards your hands as they land at the top of your mat and step your feet between them in a forward fold. Press your hands on your legs or the ground, and with a little bend in the knees, lift the chest forward and elongate your spine, firming the belly in halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Firming down through your feet, inhale, circle the arms overhead to rise up. Let's interlace the fingers here, flipping the palms inside out. Firm down through the 4 corners of your feet, press up through the heels of your palms and draw the shoulder blades down the back. Take a deep breath, stand tall. As you exhale, begin to side bend to your right, little by little for a few breaths. Imagine your tailbone like an anchor, seeking the ground between your heels. Keeping the 2 frontal hip bones facing forward, take another deep breath, and as you exhale, keep pressing towards the right wall with the heels of your palms. Then inhale, rise up to center. Let's switch the interlacing of thumb and index on top. Heels of the palms press up, 4 quarters of the feet root down. Breathe in. Then exhale, begin a side bend to your left. Feel that anchor that is your tailbone reaching for the ground. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, keep pressing the heels of your palms towards the left wall. Lengthen the sides of your neck. Firm the belly to rise as you breathe in. And open the arms. Exhale, bend the knees a little and fold forward. Press your hands on the ground or your legs. And inhale, lengthen halfway up. Lower your fingertips outside your feet. Exhale, step the ball of your left foot back. Let's do some hinging here. So inhale in the lunge. You can set the back knee on the ground if that's more useful to you. Exhale, scissor the right hip back towards straightening the leg and fold just inside the right leg. Let's go back and forth 4 more cycles. Inhale into a lunge. Exhale, scissor the right hip back and fold. This is quite dramatic music. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. Last round, breathe into lunge. Breathe out. And coming back to the lunge, lower the back knee and scoot the right foot to the outside of your right hand. Let's take about 5 breaths in lizard lunge of your choice. So you could hug the right knee towards the right shoulder, maybe come down to the forearms. If you're looking more to release the glutes and the IT band, flex your right foot and splay open the right thigh so you're leaning on the outer edge of the foot. If you're looking to release your left quadricep, bend the left knee, scoot it back and catch hold of your left foot with your right hand. Breathing in, breathing out. What's your body saying here? And with whatever sensations you're acknowledging and working with, how can you bring your body into that good feeling place through your mind, through what you're focusing on? Bridging the mind and the body with the breath. Let's take one more deep breath. And making your way back to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog for a few breaths. Fingers flat on the floor, triceps rotating towards the ground. Belly firming in. Inhale, shift forward into your version of plank. Whether your legs are straight or your knees on the ground, pause. Exhale, 3. Inhale, gaze at the floor, head still in plank. Exhale, 2. One more breath in, keep the belly lifted. Exhale, shift forward and lower through chaturanga, all the way down. Breathe into cobra, firming down through the tops of your feet. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend the knee, turn to open at the hip. Breathe in, draw the right hip further back. Exhale, set the left foot just between your hands, preparing for warrior 2. Spin the right heel down, align the left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. Then firm down to both feet and windmill your arms to rise up. Virabhadrasana 2. Before we hold still, let's flow in and out of it. So firming down through your feet, inhale, straighten your legs and raise your arms. Feel the spine lengthen. Exhale, back to warrior 2. Let's try 2 more rounds of breath like that. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale up. Exhale. Now let's hold warrior 2, about 5 breaths. So direct your gaze just past your left hand. Feel the outside edge of your right foot firm into the floor so the inner arch is slightly lifted. Feel the turn out of your left leg as the left sitting bone wraps slightly under your body and you firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Navel drawing in and lifting slightly towards your heart. Is there something you might be able to soften here within that focus? One more breath. Let's reverse for 1 inhale. Flip the left palm up and overhead into peaceful warrior. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, lower your fingertips to frame your left foot, then step up to the front of your mat to fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine, rising halfway up. Exhale, fold in. Firming down through the feet, inhale, circle the arms to rise up. Watch your palms meet. Exhale, trace them down your midline. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen forward. This time, step the right knee back or the ball of the foot back, depending on the lunge you took on the first side. Make sure your feet are hips width. And as you lunge, breathe in. Exhale, scissor the left outer hip back and extend your chest forward to fold. Keep going. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, scissor and fold. About 3 more cycles of breath. Just enjoy moving at your own pace. Opening up your body in harmony with your breath. When you finish the last cycle, coming into the forward fold, set up for lizard lunge by lowering the right knee and scooting the left foot outside of the left hand. And then choose the variation you might have done on the first side. Whether you keep the left foot facing forward and maybe come down to your forearms, or you'd like to greet your left IT band more and flex the left foot, splay out the thigh, or your right quadricep and bend the right knee, scoot it back a bit, so the left hand can reach back and catch hold of the right foot. Wherever you are, swim in the feeling that you're seeking through this practice. And as you imagine that space mentally, feel how your body follows suit. Finishing this last deep breath here in lizard lunge. This time you can make your way straight to plank pose, holding for a breath in your choice of plank. Breathing in there and breathing out. Take the inhale, feel the center lift and contained. Then exhale, shift forward to lower into your choice for cobra or upward facing dog. Firming down through the tops of your feet, feel the arch from right under the shoulder blades. Then engaging the belly, lift your hips into downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths. Feel the space between your thumbs and index fingers rooting into the floor as you wrap the triceps towards the ground. Those counter forces creating length as you lift the shoulders up and back. Inhale, raise your right leg. As you exhale, bend the knee, turn open at the hip. Inhaling, tack your left hip further back. Exhale, lightly step the right foot directly between your hands, spinning the left heel down. Warrior 2, align the right heel to the arch of the left foot, then cartwheel your arms to rise up. Let's flow. Inhale, straighten the legs and raise your arms, lifting through the sides of your waist. Exhale, back to Warrior 2. 2 more rounds. Inhale, up. Tracking the front knee with the middle toe. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, rise up. Exhale. Now let's hold Warrior 2 for about 5 breaths. So steady your gaze just beyond your right hand. Feel your left leg slightly turning inward to face the front of your mat. Feel your right leg from the hip socket turning out to face the front of your mat. Feel your pelvis neutral, upright, through the strength of your belly. Shoulders and face relaxed. 1 more deep breath. Let's reverse it for 1 inhale. Flip the right palm. Inhale, raise it overhead towards the rear of your mat. Peaceful warrior. Exhale, lower your fingertips to frame your front foot and step forward to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in. Bring the feet together, bend the knees together. Sit back towards your heels and chair for 3 breaths. Easing into warming things up. Inhale. Exhale, shift your weight back, shin bones back. Inhale, hug in the front ribs. Exhale, lift your heart up. 1 more breath in, maybe sit a little lower. Exhale, forward fold. Vinyasa, inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or float back. You could take cat-cow as well if you prefer that. Breathing in as you lift the chest. Breathing out as you lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Inhale, raise the right leg behind you. This time, keep the hips squared and step the right foot forward just inside of your right hand and spin the back heel down for warrior 1. Facing the front of your mat, let's rise up and hold. So making sure that your feet are wide enough apart sideways so that you can ground the back heel as you straighten the back leg while bending the front knee just over the ankle and scissoring the right hip back, the hips facing forward, pelvis upright. Feel the length through the sides of your torso as you raise the arms, the length through the sides of your neck as you relax the shoulders. From here, let's bend the elbows apart. We're going to play with some balance. Crossing the right elbow over the left, hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms in palms. Draw the shoulder blades down your back ribs and lift your elbows to the height of your shoulders. Pressing your forearms gently away from your face. Feel the lower belly firm in as you steady your eyes ahead, steady your balance. Breathe. We're going into Garudasana, eagle pose. Begin to shift your weight onto your right foot entirely, turning out your left leg as you wrap it over the right, flexing the left foot or tucking the toes behind the right calf. Scissoring the left hip back if it starts to come forward. So again, your hips are squared as you sit even lower. Center of gravity closer to the earth. Breathe in. Find stability here. What images might you conjure for that feeling of steadiness and ease? I like the image of the eagle. Take another deep breath in. Keep the arms, unravel the left leg, slowly step back to warrior 1. Spinning the back heel down, and then backstroke the arms to interlace behind your lower back. Rolling the shoulders down, lift the heart as you breathe in. Feel your 2 hips equally facing forward. Stay here or begin to bow forward into humble warrior, either resting on top of your front thigh or to the inside of the ankle. Feel the counterweight of your left heel pressing the ground. As you're bowing forward, let the head go. Lift the arms up and away from your lower back, broadening your chest as you lift the shoulders up and away from your neck. Let's take 3 more breaths, whichever version you're choosing. As you continue to scissor your right hip towards the back of your mat, allow the left hip to shift forward, keeping your hips squared. Now firming down through your feet, come up just halfway to lower your fingertips on the ground, stepping back to plank if you want to add a vinyasa or cat-cow, or stepping straight to downward facing dog. Recalibrating your breathing. And back in downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, softly step the foot inside of your left hand, spinning the right heel down so your feet are about hips width apart, hips are facing forward. Then rising up, let's meet in warrior 1. Virabhadrasana 1. A few breaths. So feel your foundation here, your feet connecting to the earth. The outer right foot rooting down as you straighten the right leg and turn the right hip slightly forward. The left big toe mound rooting down as you bend the left knee, rooting the heel, drawing the left outer hip back. With your pelvis upright through the strength of your lower belly, feel the lift through the center of your spine. Shoulders relaxed. Take another breath. Virabhadrasana 1. Then bend your elbows apart, draw the shoulders down, and cross the left elbow over the right. Either hook your thumbs or wrap your forearms and palms and slide the shoulder blades down as you lift the elbows to the height of your shoulders. Gently press the forearms away from your face. Draw the navel in, feel your center strong. Your gaze, your focus, steady like your breath. Begin to shift your weight into your left foot. Turn out your right leg to wrap it over the left in eagle pose, Garudasana, flexing the right foot or tucking the toes behind the calf. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward, and sit into it a little lower. Breathing in, breathing out. Conjuring the feeling of balance. Let's take 2 more breaths in eagle. Now, keeping the arms, begin to unravel the right leg straight behind you, softly landing back in warrior 1. Back heel to the floor, both hips facing forward. Backstroke the arms and interlace the opposite thumb and index. Probably the one that's not the default. Roll the shoulders behind you and down. Inhale, lift the chest. Stay here or begin to bow forward onto your front thigh or the inside of the leg. Feel the weight of your right heel counterbalancing if you're bowing as you continue to scissor the left hip back and bend the left knee. How's your breathing? We can feel into the shifts of the state of the body or mind through the breath. So tune in with that awareness. If you're bowing, lift the shoulders away from your neck. Slight bend in the elbows to stretch the arms forward, opening the chest. Last 2 breaths. Then inhale, begin to look forward, come up just a little bit, lower the hands. You decide if you want to add a vinyasa, flow or no flow, maybe a child's pose. We'll eventually meet in downward facing dog. Downward dog. Deep inhale, lion's breath. Open the eyes and mouth wide. Stick out your tongue, let it go. And now with the eyes crossed, 2, one more time. Deep breath in, fill up your belly and lungs. Eyes crossed, mouth wide, tongue out. And closing the lips. Steady the breath and bend your knees, look forward. Bottom of the exhale, lightly land your feet to touch at the top. Breathe in to lengthen halfway. Breathe out to fold. Bend your knees, sink your hips. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale to rise all the way up. Let's turn to face the wide width of your mat and step the feet apart, preparing for triangle pose. So open up your arms, straighten your legs, and let's pivot the feet so that your right foot is the front leg, aligning your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. And as you open the arms, slide your hips towards your left foot, your back leg. Reach your right hand past your right knee, then down onto your leg, or just to the right side of your leg. Finding the height to place the right hand that allows you space to draw your tailbone towards your rear heel while lengthening the crown of your head towards the front leg, the front edge of the mat. Turning your gaze up if it feels okay. Steady your eyes just past your left thumb. Feel the support of your belly hugging towards the back of your body as you're rotating the chest slightly towards the sky. Last 3 breaths. Utthita Trikonasana. Firming down through both feet. Inhale to rise all the way up. We're going to go right into side two. So rotate from your hips and pivot your feet to face the opposite direction. Aligning the left heel to the arch of your right foot. Straighten the legs and slide your hips towards your right foot, reaching the left hand past your left knee, then down onto your leg. Or just to the left side of your leg. Find the right height that allows you to draw your tailbone actively towards your rear heel as the crown of your head reaches towards your front toes. Turning the chest open slightly to face the sky. Perhaps steadying your gaze just past your right thumb. Shoulder blades sliding down your back ribs. Belly firming against the back. Last 3 breaths. Utthita Trikonasana. Then firm down through both of your feet and inhale, rise all the way up. This time in the wide stance, parallel your feet to prepare for your choice of inversion, whether a wide-legged forward fold or a transition to tripod headstand. So let's bring the hands to the hips, feet parallel. Roll the shoulders back and breathe in. Then hinge from your hips, lowering your hands. Lifting your chest, shift your weight slightly heavier onto the balls of your feet. And from there, keep your spine long as you fold. If it helps, bend the knees, walking the hands back. Now, if you're going into tripod headstand and you know how to do it safely, feel free to take that from here on your own. Other choices might be a spinal twist, placing one hand at center, raising the opposite arm up, and twisting at your waist. Clasp your big toes with your peace fingers. That's called Parangushtasana. And gently pull yourself in as you splay the elbows apart. Letting the head release towards the ground as the shoulders rise away from the neck. Whatever you've chosen, take at least 5 more deep breaths there. Feeling space throughout the spine, especially in the neck. If your feet are in the air, start to lower them to the earth again. And as both feet are on the ground, walk your hands forward to lift your spine halfway up. Then bend your knees and bring your hands to your hips, leading with your chest. Breathe in to slowly rise up. Let's come down to sit. Extending your left leg forward. If you have a strap and you want to use it here for the hamstrings, you can loop the ball of your left foot into the strap. Let's take the right thigh and cross it over the left. See if you can get the knees to stack down your midline. Flex your left foot. If you're not holding a strap with 2 hands, you can place your hands to frame your left leg. And press down through your pelvis and lift up through the center of your spine. Relaxing the shoulders, extend your heart forward and begin to bow little by little with each breath. Crawling the hands forward, maybe catching hold of your calf or your ankle as you draw the shoulder blades down your back and slightly lift your chest. Ardha Gomukhasana, half cow face pose. This is a great posture if you have any lower back stiffness, any sciatica troubles. This is helpful to release. Last 2 breaths. Now with the help of your hands, lead with your chest. Breathe in to slowly rise up. Now lifting that right knee, we're going to prepare for a seated twist. So you can step the right foot outside of the left knee. If that feels too much, you can step it just in front of your hip instead. You could also bend the left knee, circle the right hand behind your pelvis and raise your left arm up. And then root down through the sitting bones again, lift up through the crown, breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right. Either lower your left hand onto your shin or hook your elbow outside of the thigh. Breathing in, lift the chest. Breathing out, deepen the twist. If you're feeling like you want to wring out a little bit more, you could either use the left hand and hold your left knee. You could also wrap the right arm behind your back, catch the inside of your left thigh. Or you can use your left peace fingers and clasp your left big toe, sort of pulling yourself into the twist. Find a balance of effort and letting go. Not too much force. Last 2 breaths. At the end of this exhalation, unwind your spine. Straighten your right leg forward. And let's take the half cow face pose first. Cross your left thigh over the right. If you're using a strap, loop the ball of your right foot. Otherwise, place your hands on either side of that leg. Flex the right foot and ground the sitting bones to lift up the spine. And exhale, begin to hinge from your hips. Breath by breath. Folding in. Ardha Gomukhasana. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Then, leading with your chest, breathe in to slowly rise up. Let's prepare for the twist. So that left foot can either step just outside of your right knee, in front of the left hip. If it's outside the knee, you can also bend the right knee. Excuse me, we're filming a yoga class here. And then you can backstroke the left hand behind your pelvis, the right arm up. Breathe in and lift the spine. Breathe out, twist to your left. Hold your shin or hook your elbow outside the thigh. So feel as you're pressing into the ground, especially with your pelvis, the center rise, the energy up through the spine, up through the crown, sides of the neck long. Now, if you want to add more leverage, you could use the right hand and hold your right knee. Perhaps wrap the left arm behind you. Maybe it catches the inside of your right thigh. Or you could use your right peace fingers and clasp your right big toe and gently pull yourself further. Let's take 2 more breaths. At the end of this exhale, unwind. Oh, let's come down to the back. Yay! Preparing for bridge pose. If you have a block and you want to take a restorative bridge, you can place it right under your sacrum to whatever height and just be right there. Otherwise, we're going to take 2 rounds of active bridge. So have your arms down by your sides, locate your feet, have them where you could almost touch your heels with your fingertips, but not quite. Then separate your feet hips width apart, parallel, spread your toes. Ground your shoulders and feet. Tilt your chin slightly away from your chest, then inhale, lift your hips while actively stretching your thigh bones forward parallel to each other. Take at least 5 more breaths before you lower. Slide the upper arms closer together under your back ribs. And as you keep your arms straight, if your hands meet, perhaps interlace the fingers. So root down also with the outsides of your upper arms and feel the rise of your chest as you open your throat by keeping the chin slightly tilted back. Feel the full expansion of your lungs as this posture promotes. To help keep the thighs parallel and broaden the sacrum, slightly spin your inner thighs towards the ground while keeping the feet parallel. And then when you decide you're done with this first round of 2, use an exhalation to slowly lower each vertebra onto the floor. And pause to rest for maybe 3 breaths before you go up on your own one last time. If you want something a bit more spicy, you could set it for upward facing bow instead, placing the hands alongside your ears, or you could roll onto your belly. So whatever it is, 5 to 8 deep breaths on your own. We'll meet lying down again. Remember to feel the arch mostly right under your shoulder blades as you intentionally lengthen the lower spine by reaching the tailbone towards the space between your knees. When you do, lower your pelvis to the ground. Slide your left leg straight on the floor and straighten your right leg up towards the sky. If you have a strap, loop it around the ball of your right foot and hold it with your left hand. So flex both of your feet here and use your right thumb to hook your outer right hip crease and draw it away from your torso towards the front edge of your mat. So feel that. And now with your left hand, cross it over to your outer right thigh or calf if you're not holding a strap, and then root your right shoulder into the floor. Now just a little bit, begin to cross the right leg over your body as if you're going into a spinal twist, just a little bit, like 1/3 of your range or less. And then pause there. You can now add sickling your right foot to get deeper into the IT band, which is turning the sole to face the left wall from the ankle. If you feel like you need a little more support so you don't roll over, you can extend the right arm open to the right, but imagine that right thumb is still hooking that right hip crease away. So keep drawing that right hip forward as you enter deeper into the twist. And just a couple more breaths. Now gently begin to lift the leg upright again, the right leg. Roll onto your back. Bend your right knee to the outside of your rib cage, your right ribs, and then with your right arm inside of your right leg, either holding a strap around the ball of the foot or clasp your right big toes with your right peace fingers. With the help of your left hand pressing onto the top of your left thigh, keep the back of your left hip grounded, and slowly turn out the right leg, and whatever degree feels good, straighten it. Keep flexing the feet, keep grounding the 2 hips, grounding the 2 shoulders. A few more breaths here. Supine, hand to big toe pose. You probably recall we've done this posture standing upright and balancing. And now with an exhalation, slowly lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee into your chest, Uppanasana, and give your right thigh a squeeze into your belly gently for 1 breath before you let the right leg straighten forward. Then straighten the left leg up. If you have a strap, wrap it around the ball of the foot and hold the strap with your right hand. Use your left thumb and hook the left outer crease of your left hip, drawing it forward so that's away from your torso towards your right foot. And then with the right hand, if not holding a strap, hold your outer left thigh or calf and just go 1/3 or less into the twist over to the right. Root your left shoulder down to keep you from rolling over. If you want a little more stretch into the IT band, sickle your left foot. So from the ankle, turn the sole to face the right wall. And breathe into it as you continue the spinal twist. You might need to open the left arm wide to keep you from rolling over. But imagine that left thumb still hooking your left outer hip forward, away from your torso. Last couple of breaths. Then gently roll onto your back, lifting the left leg upright. Left arm inside of the left thigh. Bend the left knee to the outside of your left shoulder. And either use a strap, holding it with the left hand around the ball of the foot, or clasp the big toe. Right hand, press the top of your right thigh and keep both hips on the ground. Then begin to turn out your left leg and straighten it to whatever degree feels good here. Grounding your shoulders, grounding your head. Breathe. Supta, Uttita, Hasta, Parangushtasana. Supine hand to big toe pose. Last 2 breaths. And with an exhale, lift the left leg again, but bend the left knee. This time for Uppanasana. Hug it in, give it a squeeze, take a deep breath into the belly, and then draw both knees in. Now for just another minute, take any cherry on top pose that you want to add or movement that you want to add just before we unwind to stillness. Maybe circling out the legs. That's one of my favorites, to just massage the lower back and glutes. Maybe a shoulder stand or legs at the wall. And if you haven't already, make your way into your choice of posture for Shavasana, where you allow your body to just let loose completely. Close your eyes, perhaps cover them, and maybe take one last big exhalation to let go of controlling your breathing. Now, what was that feeling at the start of your practice that you wanted to immerse in? yourself another moment of stillness here, just absorbing the effects of your practice. And gradually, as you feel ready, begin to start with small movements, ease into a stretch, maybe turn over to your right side. Taking your time, lifting your body up to sit for 2 minutes of meditation. Sitting up tall, grounded, tuning inward. Feel your body. Breathe in and breathe out naturally. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Slow breath out through the mouth. Again, inhale deeply, joining the palms together at the heart. Exhale through the mouth. And this last one, to close with a chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.